is Saritha.
This is Simone.
And this is Clean Years.
Hey!
So we are continuing our album reviews. Guys, we hope that you guys are enjoying them.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to talk about The Trap by Derek Minor. You made it seem like you were going to say something.
Because I was, but I was just like, ooh. So we decided and agreed and thought about the fact that a lot of y'all may not know what The Trap is. And so I went to Urban Dictionary. For you real people who are maybe have other definitions of what, then definitely throw that in.
This is just a high level,
obviously,
idea of what the trap is.
I was trying to find something that
for a trap house, guys.
The trap was basically the definition I saw online. It says, I'm not paraphrasing, a ghetto place that if you stay there too long, you get trapped there. And they're like, the people in the circumstances bring you down. And they gave an example of the story. I'm going to share it. It's very short. You make friends with someone. They ask you for a ride to work. You get profiled and pull over. Dude has drugs on him, sticks it in your glove box. Cops arrest both of you. Now you got a felony and you can't get financial aid to go to college. You end up working at the local McDonald's. Now you're trapped.
That is not the trap.
I read that and I was like, I was with you until the story started. Things happen. Basically, you just have a lot of people will resort to like violence, robbing, selling drugs, things like that.
Prostitution.
Because that is how money is made. And money is what's needed to sustain everything. So that's, guys, if you have a better definition or something like that, please let us know. I was more so trying to just give people something that's understandable.
Yeah, I think of it more of a neighborhood, usually Black neighborhoods, low-income neighborhoods, where their main economy is usually not legal. Their economy is ways of illegalness. There's from robbing, there's drug use, there's prostitution, there's people who are on Section 8 housing and maybe selling food stamps. Like, there's just different levels of people who are trying to make a way in this world. They haven't found a place in what we consider our economy in the regular, quote-unquote, normal world. And so they live in a completely different type of situation. And it's hard for them to relate to what we're going through. It is hard for us to relate to what they're going through. And I think what's interesting about The Trap, that Derek Minor's album is that he's giving people a look there and saying, hey, people here are worth something.
Yes.
They are worthy of your prayers, of your time, of your consideration. You don't need to go into their neighborhoods and take things from them. You should go into their neighborhoods and empower them so that they can use this knowledge that they have of this different economy and bring it into what we consider normal economy and grow and be on the right side of the law and legal and all those things.
So with this album,
yes,
I just feel like so much happened. Like, so much happened just in listening to it. Before we even get into the songs, I'm gonna try to make this really quick. I feel like I spent so much time listening, re-listening, rewinding, looking up lyrics, Googling things, looking up stuff. And I mean, it sent my day on this whole other trajectory. But I needed that. It was a history lesson. Yeah. It was so much. And I think that if you're somebody who maybe struggles with understanding the plight of certain people that you maybe don't have access to, this is an excellent way to get into that. Because that's one thing that drew me to hip hop. I was a person who was a kid listening to Biggie like, oh no, why are you selling drugs to feed your daughter? Like, why are those your options? Like, I was the empathetic, oh my gosh, why is it like this for you kind of person. And so I think hip hop is a great way to just really jump into the, I don't want to say experience, but get an opportunity to see into what somebody else's life is like. And we got that with this project.
This is part 3 of a 3-part project. The first was Your Soul Must Fly, then High Above, and The Trap. Your Soul Must Fly, High Above, The Trap.
Oh. I like
Look at
it.
you, Derek. We see you, RMG. I think this is definitely the strongest of the 3. I've listened to all 3, and I feel like this one is where his heart was. You could tell like this was like, I've been waiting to say all these things. And so it really felt like it was the culmination of all 3, the best of the trilogy, and he gave you everything on this album. And I truly appreciated it.
On God Bless the Trap.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I loved about what he was saying in the lyrics is that with things being the way that they are, with people operating on this different kind of economy and doing these different things and feeling like this is what they have to do because there's certain opportunities that are not afforded. He's like, man, I can only hope that they can get to see Jesus and get to know Jesus. It may seem like, I mean, why not? Just go to a church, just da-da-da-da-da. You know, it seems real easy. But I think that when your basic needs are so pressing, I think that you don't get a chance to look outside of this is what's happening right now. I almost dropped my phone. Right in front of me, this is what's going on. And so I have to be focused on this, and I don't get a moment to look up for extra stuff. It's just, is that paid? Okay. Is that paid? Is that paid? What are we doing? Okay, they said this. How much time do we have? Okay. I think that with so much of trying to figure that out, and when you're trying to keep your head above water, you don't have time to worry about limbs. You're here. So you can't be like, oh, well, let me get on, let me get on out. Let me, you know, it's just here.
Right.
And so I appreciated just his empathy and his just, I hope that somehow Jesus, I know you're able, but I hope that they're able to see you and find you in the middle of all of that. And that broke my heart.
Even thinking about the illustration that you made, if you're just trying to keep your head above water, how can you even think about walking on water? Like, that just is beyond, it's beyond.
She gonna fight, she can.
It's beyond your thought process. It's beyond your imagination altogether. It's to be like, there is someone who loves me enough that I'm not struggling just to get day to day. He's thinking about my forever. They can't think about forever. I mean, they gotta think about next week. They gotta think about these bills. They gotta think about rent. They gotta think about providing for children. They gotta think about the tiniest bit of future that they could possibly manage for someone. And so faith seems like a luxury. Ooh, it's crazy.
That we going into Robin.
Ooh.
It's crazy because he's talking about robbing to feed a family. I hope y'all don't mind that I'm looking at my notes.
We're not memorized.
Super not. Because it's like you can beg, you can ask for help, but people can say yes or they can say no. But when you rob, it's an automatic yes. So it's like, that's a no-brainer. It's not what I want to do.
Right.
But one thing he said was, at the end, it was like, you can die a hero or you can live to be a villain who did the best he knew, but either way the cycle continues. And I was just like,
if you think about it, there are so many people who have counts of robbery, armed robbery, burglary, and they really were just like, I was just trying to get enough to get by. Like, I wasn't trying to get rich. There's no Ocean's 11 situation. They were like, I was just trying to sell this thing so that me and my family could eat.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel like they have any other option. And that's really what he's talking about. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this is why we're just continue to shake our head and just take deep breaths before each track, is because it was
heavy.
Peaks into like, there were some fun tracks, but really it was like,
wait. No. Okay.
There's a couple.
And not in a bad way. This was good because for me, I'm Googling all sorts of things in history and like I was really in a whole headspace of like, oh my gosh, why is this like this? How long has this been like this? What started this? Like I was really in it. So that's probably why I'm like, it's all bad and it's terrible. I just want to pray for you and God bless the tribe. There was one song, It Is What It Is, where I was like, oh my gosh, I really liked it. But he was talking about how people who are outside of the trap want to comment about what needs to happen and what needs to go on, and poor people just gotta. And he's like, no, y'all don't know what it's like. So y'all can't come in and just
decide for us.
Exactly. And he was like, there's so many things. And then gentrification comes in. You have people who move into your neighborhoods. Churches come to your neighborhoods. They don't speak. Gentrification happens. People come in. They just want to move y'all out. But they don't care about the plight of the people. They're just like, what is this great proximity?
Right.
What is this
I'm so close to
location?
the highway. How is this possible? Let's get all of these ruffians up outside of my neighborhood now so that I can live close to the highway.
He's like, everybody's in their glass house telling us what we need to do to make it out. And it's like, but I think that this album is just a great first step to understanding the people. These are people, these are family, these are children being born into this. Like it's a lot. And I think that before you can help somebody, you have to kind of gain some sort of understanding into what they need. And so It Is What It Is was just real, raw, just, I think that one, I needed a minute after that one.
Now, into something.
There's a lot of emotional stuff here that I'm
Guys.
fast.
So Propaganda and Aaron Cole are on this track. If you guys listen to the podcast, you know that it's already in my headphones because I really love it. I really, really love it. It really is talking about how people in these communities have really made something from nothing. Like, these areas were the places that no one else wanted to be at first, and they took it and they made neighborhoods and they made communities. And when it became impoverished, they figured out how to continue to make a living, whether it's busing themselves out to do low income jobs, whether it's figuring out how to get onto Section 8, whether it's robbing somebody, whether it's learning how to cook up this coke, whether it's, you know,
Lord.
they made something though, like baking soda became, just a little bit of flour and water became biscuits. All of our delicacies came from the very least. They made hooves and made it appealing to people. Like, y'all are really out here eating pig intestine like it's delicious.
Yeah, and you know what? From nothing to something. Like, just when I heard him just saying, we ain't never had nothing, that's what sparked some Googles for me too. Because I was looking and I was just like,
Never?
like, no, because I was just like, we ain't never.
Never.
So everything really was from nothing. So then when I look at just like the progress of Black people, and I'm like, from nothing. And so, yeah, I'm telling y'all, this just had me all in my feelings, and I was sad and proud.
That's appropriate. It's just one of those situations where you're like, now you see why people fight so hard for the little that they have. It's because they know that I've had less. This is really what I want. But you can also see how some people who get way past it are like, I never ever want to go back. So they just leave the hood, and you're like, hello?
Mm-hmm.
We still need you, even though you don't want to be here.
Of course, was a breath of fresh air.
Told you, I was like, you can have fun.
No, see, I know, that's why I wrote it down, because I was just like, it was right on time in the track listing. And not because the content is not going to depress you. It's just like, it stirred up a lot of righteous anger.
Mm-hmm.
So then when Of Course came on, I was like, rock a little bit. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's all right.
Fun.
It's all right.
Give you that trap beat. You're like, oh,
Yes.
oh.
Yes,
Byron
yes.
Juan went and came and did his thing, and it really was a breath of fresh air.
Yes,
It was
excellent placement. I don't know who did that.
excellent
Clap for you.
placement, and you were just like, hey, we're gonna make it. Of course, God got me. We're gonna do this. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course we are. Next track. Man. Poof. So we're back in the deep.
All right. The break was short.
The break is about 4 minutes. We're back in the deep end with
Yes.
man.
I really just like how he defined manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously as a woman, it didn't resonate with me.
Oh my
But I was just like, you know what? I think it's great that this is available for the boys.
for the men, I just send it to y'all. I appreciate when men talk to other men about what they're supposed to be looking like.
As they should.
You don't hear it often.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Figure it out over there.
Yes, listen to the
Then
song.
come over here.
Yes. So, I'm sorry. So, I have
I'm
a
a
dream.
dream. I really like this track.
That hum, though.
I mean, that Negro spiritual feel,
Mm.
man. They was gonna give you all the culture.
Speaking our language.
I loved it. Just
We know. It's cold.
we know.
We know.
I was like, oh, a mother is in the church, mom? What you like?
Who mama know? Listen, one thing I loved about this song is that it starts off with that hum that's like, it's the hum that we know as, it's like that Negro spiritual hum. So you know of it as tied to a time of oppression and slavery and just worshiping to
Get through.
get by.
Mhm.
And so in the beginning, the beat was harder with this hum just punctuating and looped through it. And it was like harder. He was kind of talking about things that are just not good, not right, and all that stuff. And Then next thing you know, the song just
softens,
lightens up.
It literally,
Yes.
it literally was going, I have a dream that we didn't have to go through all this, that these things didn't have to happen, that there didn't have to be a Me Too movement, that there didn't have to be Black Lives Matter, there didn't have to be all these things. And then he went to the positive.
I love that because the beat lifted, you hear children playing, and it felt like walking. Yes. Oh, it felt like being inside an oppressed place and like walking outside, like, but then still the tone is hopeful, but it's not like everything's perfect, but the tone was just so hopeful. And I think I listened to that like 3 times. That's why it took me so long to get through.
Me too. I really, really enjoyed that one. And I think it of course brings you to like a high place, but I Have a Dream brings you to like a hopeful place of being like, you can have these very serious prayers, it's like these times when you're just wrestling with God and being like, why are these things this way? But then when you say amen, you should be in a place of like, you're hopeful, like God is going to take care of these things. And now I need to just walk out what I need to be doing.
Love the chant at the end, when all is lost, dream on. Like, yes. Right on into decisions. That's one thing I liked about Decisions. I like the dialogue and the back and forth. And I think one of the things, like, it just shows that, like, even just hearing the story that was being told, it's, you just have to listen to it. I almost don't want to spoil it.
No, because there's spoilers. You gotta hear the story. You gotta make your own feelings of the story.
You gotta be there.
You gotta be in the moment with Derek and them. So like we said, you guys, this is a full album. It's 15 tracks. You definitely want to get into it. We enjoyed it. If you enjoy it, or if you think you even might enjoy it, Derek Minor is on tour right now.
Yes.
And he ain't gonna be on tour forever. So
yes, he will actually be, like, we're in Atlanta. He'll be in Atlanta September 29th, and also I think October, something early in October. Watch the medias. I'll be sure to retweet it and things like that. It'll be out there for you guys.
If you can't get to a concert, you still can listen to the album. You can still let us know what you think. You can drop it in the comments below.
Yes, please let us know what you think, and I really hope that you guys enjoy, because we really, really did. So if you're liking this video, be sure to like it, and be sure to subscribe, and be sure to hit us on the medias. That way you can get tour information, and we can keep the conversation going once you listen to the project as well.
Yes.
So guys, until next time,
have a good time.
bye.